In this podcast, I sit with Roger Connor, president of Third Home. What's Third Home? Well, Roger came on a roadshow with his team because Los Cabos is one of the most represented, actually the number one location around the world for second home owners on their platform. What's Third Home? Why is it a value if you're a developer or if you own a home that is a second home, $1 million or more? Take a listen and find out. Roger, welcome.
Thank you, Nick. Excited to be here.
I'm glad you made it, and thanks for taking time out of your very busy week.
My pleasure.
Tell everyone who you represent and where you're from.
My name is Roger Connor, and I am the president of Third Home, which is a luxury vacation home exchange club. We're based in Nashville, Tennessee. We have offices in Marbella, Spain, in New York. We're spread out all over the world and expanding rapidly. So,
how many destinations do you have properties in?
we probably have 2,500 unique destinations around the world. We're in 100 plus countries, 17,000 plus homes in Third Home now.
Okay.
Rapidly, still growing rapidly.
What does Third Home mean?
That's a great question. I mean, I'll tell you how that name came about. If you own a second home, well, you have your primary home, you have your second home, and we offer you third homes all over the world. So the concept is that, I'll tell you how that started.
Yeah.
Wade Sheely, who was a real estate guy, he was selling luxury homes in Hilton Head, South Carolina, back when it was just going great guns. And he'd sell a beautiful home, and 2 or 3 years later, the people would come back and say, "Can you list our home?" Wade would say, "Well, you got a great home. Why would you sell it?" Well, we're not here that often. When we are, we've done everything there is to do. We love to travel and go other places, but we feel guilty doing that and paying rent when we have this beautiful asset sitting here empty. So that was kind of the
aha moment.
And Wade started thinking about there's got to be a way for these beautiful vacation homeowners to get value out of their home when they're not renting it or not in it. Mm-hmm. And no home usually rents 52 weeks a year, so there's always open weeks.
Right. So there's the concept Third Home, turning your second home into a third home opportunity.
Exactly. And what our members do, they put specific weeks of time into the club for other members to use. We post those weeks on the website, the beautiful property pages with full descriptions of the property. And by putting their homes in, they earn what we call keys, which are travel credits. Right. So they have travel credits in their account. They can use those travel credits to book homes all over the world. Average home value is about $2.5 million. The range goes from $1 million to $50 million.
Okay. All around the world.
All around the world.
So if I own $1 million plus property in a great destination like Los Cabos,
right,
and I only use it 6 to 8 weeks out of the year, I rented the rest, but I certainly don't rent it the other 40 plus weeks.
Sure.
It might make sense to contact Third Homes, put some weeks in, and use those weeks, which you call keys.
Well, that's the travel credits.
Right,
yeah.
To travel and use other properties.
Exactly. You pay us, you don't pay rent when you travel. So you pay us just a really nominal exchange fee. Typically it ranges 5 to 10% of what the rental rate would be if you actually had to rent the home. So it's a tremendous savings. I can say without hesitation, I think we're the best value in luxury travel anywhere.
When did Third Home start?
Started back in 2010 with one home. Needless to say, it's grown rapidly, and the concept has changed over time. We've matured, and when I got involved back in 2012, we realized that we can go to developers, to real estate companies, to vacation rental managers, and rather than getting one member at a time and having them find us, we can take our message through those companies to hundreds or thousands of people and bring in a lot of members that way, because it's a fabulous selling tool. Mm-hmm. If you're selling real estate. You obviously buy this beautiful home, you not only get it to enjoy when you'd like, but it opens the door to other homes all over the world through Third Home.
So I'm thinking, if I'm a developer, I have 100 units and I'm building them. My client can't use it for another 18 months when it's finished. Yep. So a developer could do what? How can they leverage Third Home?
Well, if they're in the pre-sales side of selling, We've had some developers that will buy keys, the travel credits. If they buy these keys in bulk, we give it a reduced rate for the key value. And then they use those keys to say to their buyers, not only will you be getting a great home, I know you can't use it yet, but with these keys, you can begin traveling and enjoying other vacation homes until your home's ready.
And they could even be like, for example, if you're a developer in Cabo, it could be one of your many properties in Cabo that
Absolutely.
They could be using.
And it's instant gratification for your buyers rather than, they're putting a lot of money into it, but they have nothing to show for it yet. So we let them enjoy traveling. And once their home's ready, they can put weeks in the home and earn even more keys and go more places.
How long ago did you guys get involved in Cabo as a destination?
I came down here for the first time, I think, in 2014, maybe. And it's funny, I tell people, Wade Sheely, our founder, after I made about 3 trips to Cabo, he said, "What are you doing down there, Roger? Are you just on the beach? We need to get some members in here." Well, I think my travel expenses have been justified. We have 7,500 members out of the 40-mile stretch of paradise.
7,500
from East Cape to Todos Santos. From this area, this is the most concentrated area of members and exchanges in the world because Cabo is such a fabulous place. And at that point in time, as you know, and it's still happening, development's going crazy.
Right.
And what's not to like? The weather's great. There's so many opportunities to buy down here and enjoy a terrific lifestyle. So our members love coming here, and the partners that we have love our members coming. They're all affluent. They all own at least one luxury second home. So they're a very qualified prospect to purchase, and they do. That's where those 7,500 members come. They've invested with our partners in this area.
Right.
So
you said 5 to 10% of what you would normally pay as a renter is what you pay as a fee.
Correct.
So give me an example.
So the way the keys are factored in, let's say you book a 5-key exchange. The retail travel value of a key is about $1,500. It's not exact, but it's pretty close. So if you booked a 5-key exchange, you probably would pay around $7,500 rent for that week.
Okay.
And in our case, you would pay $795 for the week, not per night, for the week.
$100 a night.
It's like a Hampton Inn almost in some cases.
But you're staying in a property that would be
could be up to, again, $50 million. But under the normal side of our exchange program, we have a base key value of 1 to 5, and then we give you multiples of that for better weeks. We have a seasonal calendar for every part of the world. Cabo has one of the best calendars anywhere. The weather's perfect. So the nicer your home is, and the better time of year that you put your weeks in, the more keys you earn. And if, a more expensive home will earn more keys. So
you guys are only in the housing market, right? Third home. You guys don't do anything else other than homes.
We don't do rentals. We found our niche. We're very unique. There's not a real competitor to us because there are a lot of exchange companies, but nobody exclusively works with luxury like we do. So we've got a good space, and we're going to just keep building it.
What are some of the newer areas that Third Homes has explored into in the last couple of years?
Gosh, we're all over the world. We do member parties where we know there's a tremendous destination and we have a core base of members. For instance, we're doing a party. The ski vacation, the Mountain West is huge for us. California is always great. We did a party in Dallas last week. We did a party in South Africa this week. We are in Los Angeles next week and San Francisco next week. Then we go to London, and we've got 3 cities that we're having parties in Australia. So we're broadcasting our message to the world, and our members love us. They're devoted. Once they've taken an exchange, they get the value proposition. So they're happy to bring friends that own luxury homes, and the referrals are tremendous for us.
It sounds like there's no downsides, but there's always downsides. What are some of the downsides as a user, as a homeowner?
Well, yeah, and that's fair. We're not a hotel, so you can't just decide you want to go to a particular place at a particular time. We're totally dependent on our members to put those weeks in.
Right.
And a lot of our members are renting, so they're selective on what weeks they put in. So you can't just decide you have one destination you want to go to at one time a year and expect to get that. You know, everybody wants to go to New York City for New Year's Eve, right?
Mm-hmm.
If that hit our website, it'd be gone in about 10 seconds. But we have tools within the website so that if you're looking for a house in Greece and you have a certain range of dates that you're looking for, you can go on the website, look around. If you don't find it, you can do what we call a saved search. And the website, you can filter your searches with all kind of different ways: number of bedrooms, number of keys, location, dates, type of properties, yachts, homes, resorts. So whatever criteria you put in, if you want to save that search, it remembers it. And as soon as something comes available, the system automatically notifies you to say, we got something here, you might want to grab it.
Right.
So it helps people find what they're looking for. And we typically say if you have flexibility in either the location or the date, the chances are you'll find a great exchange.
So you guys are even in Asia, Japan, China.
Absolutely. We've got
Philippines.
Fabulous partnerships. We haven't announced yet, but they're coming in Asia, in Australia. We've got properties in New Zealand, Fiji. I mean, we're worldwide. It's amazing.
Costa Rica.
Oh, lots in Costa Rica. Lots in Costa Rica. I stayed in a home in Costa Rica that rents for $35,000 a week. And
$5,000 a night.
We paid $995 for it.
For a week.
For a week. I mean, that
sounds unreal.
That's the catch. People say, so wait a minute, what's the catch? Well, the catch is you've got to have skin in the game. You got to put your home. So they are giving up something.
Right.
They're putting their time in their home, but they don't pay rent when they go somewhere else. And this is a private club. So we don't just let everybody in. We have to make sure the home's a good fit. We do background checks. We curate the member and make sure they're going to be a good member. Make sure the home's beautifully appointed. You know, we look at a lot of pictures. Obviously, we can't visit every home personally,
right,
but we put so many in that we can tell pretty quickly. It needs to be in a great destination for vacations.
Yep.
We don't have a lot of homes in Kansas. Nothing wrong with Kansas, but people aren't clamoring to go there.
Right.
So, it's we have to be careful because members want their home to be taken care of. But the great thing about our club is they do have skin in the game. They want their home to be well taken care of, and consequently, they treat other homes the same way.
If I'm a homeowner and I have a property that I think can qualify, what are some of the minimum criteria, like things? I can imagine it needs to be managed, or someone needs to take care, like housekeeping, things like that.
Well, that a lot of our homes are managed by rental managers. Some aren't, but some of our homes don't rent because they're not comfortable of having strangers come in their home. With Third Home, they understand they're just a friend they hadn't met, basically, because they're a like-minded group of people. But, you know, we need to be in a good destination. That's the start of it. And then the home needs to be typically $1 million and up, nicely appointed, well-furnished. Amenities are a great addition. So, and it needs to be offered up on good times of the year.
Right.
Not necessarily the peak times, because if you're renting, we understand the need to draw some revenue out of it. So, but we've got 22,000 weeks of availability right now that you could go on our website and push a button and reserve it as a member. It's the best availability we've ever had in our history. So
an owner only pays when they use their keys.
Correct. Well, there's a big membership fee. It's $295 a year.
Okay.
Actually, there's a $2,500 one-time initiation fee.
Okay.
But when we work with partners, for instance, if you brought some of your owners in, we'd waive that fee because of the partnership. So after that, they don't even pay the $295 in the first year that they join. It starts the next calendar year.
Wow.
So it's very low cost and high value.
How do you guys make money? That doesn't even make sense to me.
Well, we're doing it in volume because we're doing a lot of exchanges, thousands of exchanges every year, every month actually, because we're growing to the point now where we don't have to gouge anyone terribly. People understand the value proposition and frankly, they're spoiled because they're paying so little. We've had people talk about other organizations like exclusive resorts, and there's some of those out there, but they're very expensive. Yeah. And they don't have anywhere near the portfolio that we have.
Right.
So it's a unique position in the market.
What about owners that don't want to rent their property. A lot of times they don't want strangers in their place.
Yep.
They don't want it to be damaged. How can you address that item?
Well, that's the beauty of having it as a private club with very strict rules and bylaws. Any member is going to be responsible for any damage. We take real care by we want every guest to review the home. So if it's not as described on the website and the furniture's a little tattered or anything like that, we're going to hear about it.
Right.
And we'll get in touch with that member and we'll pull it off the site and say, until you bring that up to standard, we can't display it. And we want the host to review the guests. So if there's any misbehavior, they're going to get a phone call.
Okay.
That rarely happens again because they've got skin in the game. They
Sure.
want, so we don't let fraternity parties happen. We don't let anyone go other than members and their spouse and adult children. That's as far as we extend the membership.
Is there a damage deposit or a credit card on file?
There's not. There's not. But what we found is our members, things happen. A child breaks a lamp or whatever. Our members are quick to take care of that because they don't want to blemish their membership.
Yep.
And if we have issues, we have the right to basically expel any member from the club.
Okay.
So they want to stay in good standing. They may have thousands of dollars worth of keys in their account, so they certainly don't want to lose that.
Okay, certainly. So there are clients that have that many keys.
Oh, yeah. Thousands of dollars worth.
Oh,
not
okay.
Thousands of keys.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And any success stories, like great stories that you hear about?
It's always fun. We get these fabulous reviews on the website. We've got thousands of 5-star reviews. And at this party we just hosted here in Cabo, we just offered our members a chance to stand up and tell us some stories. And it's the thing we hear most often is, I didn't have any desire to go to Croatia, but I was browsing the site. I saw this fabulous home there. It was a date I could use. I talked to my wife. We said, let's try it. Bucket list, best trip we've ever been on. Okay. We hear that all the time. People the other night were talking about a trip they took to New Zealand, and it's costing them, $1,200, $1,300 for the week on the high side. Now our reserve segment is $8 million homes and up. Some of them go up to over $50 million. It takes more keys to book those, and there's a higher exchange fee. But under our traditional membership, the most you pay is about $1,400 for the week. Jeez. So it's unbelievable. And we have another unique segment of the company called our Adventures program. And as you know, everybody wants the experiences now.
Right.
That's what people are thinking about. So we custom curate these bucket list trips that nobody else has offered. It's all detailed down to where you go, when you go, everywhere you eat. Everything's taken care of. For instance, I took one and hosted a group on an Amazon luxury riverboat cruise. And we went back in, went to the villages. We went back they had all the naturalists there that showed us all the flora and fauna and catching alligator. It's just insane. Food was unbelievable. We took a group to Cuba, and we went with Mariel Hemingway, who is Ernest Hemingway's granddaughter. Yeah. So they opened the doors to the Hemingway home. They took us to meet his boat captain. They took us to his favorite haunts. We saw a side of Havana that the public will never see.
Wait. How do you book these experiences?
These are different than the exchanges. These are full pay trips. So we offer 8 or 10 of those a year. It could be in Italy. It could be we've been all over the world. But we post these on the website, and our members can buy into it.
Wow.
It's amazing. We did one in Africa with a safari camp, and there's a bunch of more on the books that you can see on the site. It's really creative.
Are they big groups or?
No, that's the best part is they're small groups. We did some, one of the people that was at the party was talking about this Uniworld cruise, and it was a mystery cruise. So they knew where in Europe they were going to land and where they were going to depart, but they knew nothing about anything in between.
Oh, that's so cool. So
they don't know where they're going to stop. The first night they ended up in Monaco and stayed in the Four Seasons, 5-star Michelin chef. And, they go from there and it's like, what's next?
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's with you guys?
That's with us.
Oh,
we
nice.
build those trips. We have a lady that's worked for American Express Travel and American Airlines. Anyway, she's terrific. She puts it all together, and it's just down to the minute on management.
What would something like that cost?
It varies from $4,000 or $5,000 to $5,000 or $10,000. It could be, depends on how many days it is, how much the airfares are, all that kind of thing.
But you guys arrange everything, or you have to get there?
No, in most cases we set up the flights.
Wow.
So it's cradle to grave.
Jeez, and it's available to all the members.
Yeah, anybody can book those. And these member parties I mentioned, we're doing those all over the world. We're finishing with our investors at Wade Shealy's farm in Franklin, Tennessee, right outside of Nashville. It's called Lucky Dog Farm. It's a beautiful place. And the highlight of that trip for our investors will be a private concert by Kenny Loggins.
No way.
Yeah. So we've done that before. We had Kenny at the Country Music Hall of Fame in Nashville. And it's just so much fun. It's intimate. He talks to everybody. And we have other songwriters that play during that time. And, of course, Nashville is Music City, so plenty to choose from.
Wow, that's incredible. I think those experiences are where it's at.
They are really, really popular. And they sell out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So,
how do people get a hold of you or learn more information?
thirdhome.com. Our number's on there. We're easy to find. What's great is you go to our website. If you go to exchange.thirdhome.com, you can see every property in the club, 17,000 of them. You click on the card and it opens up to a property page. We always want a whole lot of pictures to make sure we're representing the property beautifully. And the only thing you can't see is the availability because you need to log in to see that.
Right.
But I tell you, it's like a kid in a candy store if you're a traveler, when you start looking through the site.
Well, especially the story you said where people just as members go on there not knowing where they want to go and they see a property and they're like Croatia, New Zealand.
We encourage that. I mean, if you know you want to take a summer trip, put in the search May to August.
Right.
And you're going to find thousands of available weeks. And that's the beauty of it. It's just, you need to open your mind to the possibilities because they're all over the world.
Roger.
Lots of fun.
This is amazing. Thank you for coming in and sharing what Third Home has to offer. I know a lot of our developers, our clients are going to be very interested.
Well, with as fast as your real estate company's going, you're going to have a lot of homes that are going to be available to us, I hope.
Yep. We're going to do some business.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Roger.
Thank you so much.
All right. Until the next one, guys. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Nick Fong Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and the YouTube channel at youtube.com/Ronaval Real Estate and follow Nick on Instagram at NickFong_Ronaval. Ready to find your Baja dream home? Check out the latest property listings at Ronaval.com or findmexicohouses.com. Hasta luego.